Good morning, sunshine. Welcome back to the channel. So it's that time of year, you know, tomatoes, tomatoes, tomatoes. I'm just gonna take you through the steps of how I do my tomatoes to make diced tomatoes, tomato sauce, and tomato juice. So this is not the first batch that we've had, but I just wanted to kind of give you a little quickie on what we do. So we collect up some tomatoes, and it doesn't even matter if you get 1, 2, 3, 4, or a whole bunch at one time, doesn't matter. This is how I do it. So I get my tomatoes, I core them. I did not do that the first time I did this, and makes it a lot easier. All right, so core your tomatoes, put them in a gallon bag. Like this one has a little bit of spotting on it, so what I would do would be I would core it, and then I'm going to cut off the bad spot and stick it in the bag. Okay, so after I've done all these and put them in, you know, of course, multiple bags, depending again how many you have. If I only picked 1 or 2 for the day, and there's none looking like they're going to become ripe anytime soon, sometimes you can just, so like for instance, this only has 3 in it. Say I didn't have all these and I just had these 3. Seal it, throw it in the freezer. The next 2 days I pick 1 or 2 more. I would core them, cut off the bad parts, just pull this out of the freezer, stick them in there, seal it back up, and throw them back in the freezer. All right, so that's what I do with my tomatoes at this point. Core, cut off the bad ends, and put them in the freezer. Next, I will show you when I have a day that I'm ready to process a bunch. The key to the freezing is you don't have to do the the blanching and the water bath to peel them, and I'll show you that next. All right, so it's going to be a rainy day today. Perfect day to process tomatoes. As you saw in the last clip, I had showed you about the freezing, coring, cutting off the bad ends, and freezing them. So today what we're going to do is we're going to grab the bags out of the freezer. I just dump them into a colander in the sink. Then you just run. You don't want to run too hot of water because you got the frozen tomato and then your hands are cold and then you're running the hot water. So I just kind of go down to like a pretty warm. We're going to just start running them under the warm water, waiting on the water to get warm. And then the skins just peel right off. It makes it so much easier than doing the whole blanching in the hot water and then dumping in the ice. I mean, they just, well, yeah, they just peeled right off. So I'm going to continue doing this and get all my tomatoes that I have up in the freezer skinned, and then we'll move on to the next step. So once I have all my tomatoes peeled, I just chop them up into chunks. I think I need my bigger knife. There we go. I'm just gonna chop them up to chunks, throw them in this big stock pot here. And just let it cook down for quite a while. I'll show you my next process of getting the seeds out and any skin that was left, which hopefully there isn't any. So yeah, so we're just gonna fill this stock pot up, and let it simmer for a while and get nice and gooey and soft. Then I'll bring you back. Alright, so once the stock pot of the cut up tomatoes has cooked down, you can do it anywhere from an hour. Some people do that stage for 5 hours. It's just totally up to you. But what I like to do is once they're soft and cooked down quite a bit, I put it into my hopper here. So I'm just pouring some of what's in the stock pot into here. And then you just do this. And this is going to remove any leftover skins or seeds. Now granted, it doesn't get rid of every single seed, but it does a dang good job. I got this off of Amazon. I will try to make sure we link it below for you. So basically what it's doing is it's just getting the sauce out. Let's see if you can see that. I'm gonna wait for it to stop dripping. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. So it's got the sauce goes into here. The sauce and the juice. And then on this side over here, you can see it's got the skins and seeds and such. Okay? So once I do that with all that's in the stock pot, we'll take the juice the juice and the sauce. Yeah, the juice and the sauce. Woo! Canning brain. And then I just put it into a different pot. And then what I do with that is this I will let simmer for, it could even be until tomorrow morning, just on a real small simmer, and that's just to thicken it up. When I make sauce, I don't add anything to it like the peppers and onions on all that. I like to just can it just the plain sauce, and that way, depending on what I'm using it for, I can add to it when I actually use it to make something. So yeah, so I'll get to getting all the juice into here, and then I'm gonna let it cook all day, possibly all night. I mean, it's pretty early, so I may get it, we'll see. I don't know. It can be day, night, however long. Till the thickness you want to can it at is fine. Some people just can the juice and then they thicken it later when they're going to use it to cook. Totally up to you. Alright, so then once that is done, I will can it up. And that's it for me on the sauce. So I hope that you enjoyed the video. Maybe it gave you a couple ideas on how to make things a little bit easier. And we'll see you next time.